Listen up, the man you're scared to unleash, he's not a dream, he's your truth. The real you, stripped of lies, waiting to dominate. Kill the weakling you've been, own your future, like it's already yours, or fade into nothing. Your call, that beast inside, he's clawing to break free, but you've been too soft, too scared, too pathetic to let him loose. Today, you slaughter the coward wearing your skin. The world's got most guys living like strangers to their own power, not because they don't crave greatness, but because they've been brainwashed to think they're stuck locked into their weak habits. Their failures, their sorry excuses. Like it's carved into their DNA. That's the biggest scam ever sold. You're chained to who you are. Bullshit. You're not trapped. You're just too spineless to torch the safe, mediocre version of you that's killing your potential every damn day. Forget therapy. You need a war. You don't need hugs. You need to rebuild yourself from the ground up, brick by brutal discipline, forged in self-respect, fueled by raw, unstoppable intent. They tell you to find yourself like your best version's hiding under your bed, waiting for you to discover it while you're scrolling porn at 3 a.m. That's not how kings are made. You don't find power, you forge it. You erase the loser who dreads waking up and birth a man who owns every second. Your old self, it's not broken, it's garbage. Yet you cling to it, hugging your insecurities like they're your mom, justifying your laziness with mental backflips. You stare in the mirror and see a prisoner, blind to the fact you're the jailer, the cage, and the damn key. Most men will die hating the weak version of themselves they never escaped, and that should scare the hell out of you. If staying who you are doesn't make your blood run cold, you're already dead inside. Deep down, you know there's a titan in you all. Man who speaks with thunder, moves like a hurricane, commands respect without blinking. You felt him in those rare moments when you acted fearless, stood tall in the storm, made a call with iron certainty. He roared and you shoved him back in a box because the world screamed that standing out is reckless, confidence is cocky, power is poison. Weakness is poison, and you've been chugging it, addicted to the easy, cozy cage. But comfort's a trap, you're a predator, not pet. Who you are ain't who you're doomed to be. Let that truth rip your world apart. Your habits aren't you, your screw-ups aren't final, your fears are just noise. But here's the deal, you got to kill the coward to crown the king. It won't feel like a motivational poster, it'll feel like blood and fire, because real change is a battlefield. Rewriting who you are means burning the crutches you've leaned on excuses, sob stories, trauma. You got to become the man who'd rather die than live another day as a nobody. That's the gate to greatness. You don't sneak into it, you explode through it, leaving the old you in ashes. Choose now. Stay a shadow or unleash the beast. The world doesn't care about your potential, it respects results. Kill the weak you, forge the king, and own your empire. Hesitate, and you're just another forgotten nobody. So when I say become the man you fear you can't be, I'm not saying pretend, I'm saying evolve with brutality. Move like you already are, think like he thinks, speak like he speaks, make choices that the future you would applaud, not regret. That's how identity is rewritten, not with hope, not with vision boards, but with force. And don't you dare wait until you feel ready. Readiness is a myth. No one arrives at power fully prepared. They step into it trembling, unsure, and they earn the right to belong by refusing to retreat. That's what real self-respect looks like. There is no ceremony, no applause, no support group waiting to clap for you when you finally choose to rise. The moment you rewrite who you are is the moment you become your own savior. The world will resist. Your friends won't understand. Your old self will scream for mercy. But if you hold the line, if you suffer with purpose, you'll wake up one day and not recognize the man in the mirror, not because he's unfamiliar, but because he's finally who you were meant to be all along. Understand this, power isn't given, it's taken. Identity isn't discovered, it's built. And your destiny isn't found in the safety of who you've always been, it's in the ashes of who you're brave enough to stop being. So look yourself in the eye today and ask, am I willing to bury the weak version of me, even if it hurts, even if no one claps, even if no one believes? Because if the answer is yes, then you're already rewriting the script. You're already on the path to becoming the man who terrifies you in the best way possible. And once that switch flips, there's no going back, nor should you ever want to. I remember a time when I wasn't this man, not even close. I wasn't walking into rooms with fire in my eyes. I was dragging my feet, hiding my power, apologizing for wanting more. I didn't speak with certainty. I questioned myself before every move, every word. I was addicted to hesitation. And the worst part, I convinced myself that this was just who I was, that I wasn't built like that. That confidence was for other men. I wore self-doubt like it was stitched into my skin. And yet, deep down, a war was brewing. Because every time I saw a man who had what I wanted, I felt Rajano envy. But Rajano because he had it, but because I knew I was supposed to be him. And I wasn't. I wasn't living as the man I was born to become. I was surviving as a watered-down version of someone I didn't even respect. One day, I snapped not in a Hollywood movie kind of way. There was no music, no spotlight, no applause, just silence. I looked at myself in the mirror and said the words that changed everything. This version of me has taken me as far as it's ever going to. Now he has to die. And I meant it. That manth, tired one, the insecure one, the one waiting for permission, he wasn't invited into the next chapter. He was a chapter I had to burn to the ground. People think transformation is some soft, gentle process. No, real change is violent. Real growth demands sacrifice. I had to start talking different. I had to walk like I owned the ground. I stepped on. I had to show up every day like the man I feared I couldn't be, until the world had no choice but to treat me as him. And don't think it was easy, it was torture at times. The voices in your head don't shut up when you change. They scream louder. The doubt doesn't vanish, it mutates, tries to infiltrate your new mindset. People around you will pull you back, not always out of hate, sometimes out of fear, because your evolution forces them to confront their stagnation. And most people would rather drag you down than level up with you. But I kept going. Not because I was fearless, but because I was sick of being invisible in my own life. I told myself, if I die trying to become the man I was meant to be, that's a life well spent. But if I live as a shadow, I'm already dead. There was a point where I stopped recognizing myself in the best way possible. I started speaking differently. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was speaking like a man who believed every word. I began moving through life with calculated aggression. Every action had weight. Every choice aligned with my future self. That's when I realized the key. You don't wait until you feel like that man. You act as if you already are him, and eventually the world catches up. Reality bends for the man who refuses to bend for it. You walk like you're unstoppable long enough, and people start to believe you are. But more importantly, you believe it. And once you believe it, it's over. For the weak version of you, he doesn't even get a vote anymore. I became the man I once feared I couldn't be. And it didn't happen because I found myself. It happened because I buried the coward, resurrected the savage, and committed to never shrinking again. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped negotiating with mediocrity. I started walking like I had nothing to lose and everything to prove, not to the world, but to myself. That's the part people miss. Becoming him isn't about revenge, fame, or applause. It's about fulfilling your own prophecy, about honoring the version of you that's been locked away behind years of fear and doubt. It's about unleashing him not once, but every single day, until there's no trace left of who you used to be. That's not arrogance, that's liberation. That's freedom from the lie that your past defines your future, from the belief that change needs permission. No, change needs commitment, the kind of commitment that doesn't waver when it gets lonely, the kind that keeps swinging even when your hands are bleeding. You become the man you fear you can't be by refusing to return to the man you know you've outgrown. You don't try, you declare war on everything inside you that doubts your right to evolve. This isn't a fairy tale, this is blood, sweat, obsession, sacrifice. This is rewriting your story with actions, not words. So if you're still waiting for the perfect time, understand this, it never comes. The only thing that arrives is regret, and he's a brutal companion. You want freedom? Rewrite your identity. You want power? Walk like you already hold it. You want respect? Earn it by becoming undeniable. And if you do it right, if you commit with everything inside you, you'll look back and realize the man you once feared, you couldn't become the only man you ever respected. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that sick feeling in your stomach when you realize time's slipping through your fingers and you're still the salmon, not because you're lazy, but because deep down, you're terrified of becoming powerful? You say you want it, you shout about it, you wear the clothes and repost the quotes, but when it comes time to shed your skin and walk into the fire, you hesitate, you stall, and then you lie to yourself. You say you're thinking, you're planning, you're almost ready. You're not, you're scared. Because becoming the man you fear you can't be means killing the man you're comfortable being. And your comfort is killing you more slowly than any disease ever could. Here's the truth. No one will say out loud, most men don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they refuse to suffer the death of their current identity. You're not stuck because the world's unfair. You're stuck because you're still trying to drag your past into your future. You think you can keep your habits, your circle, your thoughts, and still rise? You think you can take your softness with you into war? You can't. You either evolve or you evaporate. This isn't motivation, this is survival. And the most brutal part of all this is that your future self is watching you every day, quietly waiting, judging, dying slowly while you procrastinate, hesitate, negotiate. You don't have infinite time, you think you do, but one day you'll wake up and realize the man you could have become died the moment you chose distraction over domination. And that's a grave you'll have to visit alone. You know what fear really is? Fear isn't some external monster chasing you. Fear is the quiet voice inside your head that whispers, what if I'm not enough? It's the reason you keep delaying the work, the reason you scroll, the reason you tell yourself, next week, for the 5th year in a row. But here's what they don't teach you. Fear is not your enemy, it's your compass. The man you're supposed to become lives on the other side of the decisions you're avoiding. That version of you, the one you admire, the one you daydream about, exists, but he exists in the realm of discomfort, pain, risk, and sacrifice. You want to meet him? Then you better be ready to bleed for it. And understand this, no one is coming to save you, not your parents, not your friends, not your government, not some magical sign from the universe. You are alone in this, but in that loneliness, you will find your power. Because when you stop waiting to be rescued, you start building yourself, brick by brick. And yes, it will hurt, it's supposed to. Because growth is not born in peace, it's forged in war. Every time you feel the urge to quit, to play small, to go back to comfort, that's the old version of you trying to survive. Don't negotiate with him, don't give him oxygen, let him suffocate. That voice that tells you to rest, to wait, to settle, it's not your intuition, it's your enemy. There is no rewind button, no reset. The pain of regret will always outweigh the pain of discipline. And one day, you're going to realize that the life you wanted was never stolen, it was simply never claimed. Every day you hesitate, someone else gets ahead. Every hour you spend doubting yourself, someone else is becoming everything you're afraid to become. And the scariest part, they're not better than you, they're just bolder. They decided that's it. They didn't wait for permission, they didn't wait to feel ready, they stepped into the fire and forced the universe to adapt. You can either be the man who reacts or the man who reshapes reality around his will, but you can't be both. So what are you really afraid of? That you'll fail? That people will laugh? That you'll fall flat on your face? Good, you're supposed to. That's the process, that's the test, that's the price of evolution. If you're not afraid of the man you're becoming, you're not aiming high enough. You need to be uncomfortable with how powerful you're trying to become, because only then will you stretch, only then will you shatter the shell of who you were. And if you're not willing to break, if you're not willing to rebuild your identity from the rubble of your old life, then be honest and admit you're not serious. Stop pretending you want it. Stop lying to yourself, because the world doesn't bend for wishful thinkers, it bends for relentless. Here's the final truth. One day, you will face a version of yourself in the mirror own you created or one you abandoned. And when that moment comes, you'll either be filled with pride or paralyzed with grief, not because of what happened, but because of what never did. Your biggest fear isn't failure. It's mediocrity disguised as comfort. It's looking back and realizing you had the power, but you never pulled the trigger. You had the vision, but you never acted. And that is a pain no man recovers from. Rewriting your identity is not a motivational slogan, it's a war cry. It's the only path that leads to the man you were destined to become. And the clock is ticking. Every second wasted is another nail in the coffin of your unrealized greatness. So decide, burn the excuses, bury the weakness, rewrite your identity, or stay exactly where you are and die knowing you could have been a legend. You want to know what separates the ones who become monsters from the ones who only dream of being strong? It's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's obsession. It's a violent, unshakable obsession with becoming the man you're scared to admit you could be. Most people don't lack potential, they lack urgency. You don't need more books, you don't need more podcasts, you don't need more time to figure it all out, you need pressure. You need to wake up every single day and act like you're 5 years behind and running out of oxygen. Because you are that person you idolize in your head. He's already moving, he's already training, grinding, executing, and if you don't match his pace, you'll never catch up. The gap won't close itself. You either run faster or get left behind. No one cares how much it hurts. The universe respects velocity, not intention. You gotta understand, identity isn't something you're born with, it's something you forge. It's a sculpture, and your daily actions are the hammer and chisel. You carve it with sacrifice, you shape it with suffering, you define it by making choices that betray your comfort. That's how you rewrite who you are. If you're not acting like him, you'll never become him. You can't think your way into a new life, you have to act like you've already arrived. Your words have to change your posture, your tone, the way you walk into a room, the way you train, eat, sleep, work, the way you handle disrespect. The way you shake hands, everything has to evolve. You don't wait to feel confident. You move like the man who already conquered the future. It's the only way the world starts treating you like him. Let me tell you something. They don't teach you in school or therapy. Your feelings don't matter, your actions do. You feel tired, good move anyway. You feel lost, push forward. You feel scared, execute with precision. Power doesn't come from eliminating fear. It comes from overriding it so often that fear becomes irrelevant. Weak people wait for clarity, strong men create it. That's the law of the jungle. No lion waits to feel like a killer, he just kills. That's how he becomes the apex predator. That's how you must operate. You don't wait for motivation, because most days, it won't come. What will come is chaos, problems, delays, doubts, and your ability to move anyway is what will separate you from the masses drowning in mediocrity. You don't rise when it's easy, you rise when it's brutal, and you still refuse to break. You want to know how to become him? Outwork your identity until your old self doesn't even recognize you. Obsess over excellence until people look at you like you've lost your mind. Let them call you crazy. Legends always are in the beginning. Stop needing validation. Stop seeking permission. Stop apologizing for chasing a life that makes average men uncomfortable. This path isn't supposed to feel safe. It's supposed to stretch your soul until it rips. And when it rips, you build muscle where the tear used to be. That's where confidence is born, not from comfort, not from compliments, but from discipline under pressure, from being the only one still grinding when everyone else gave up and went home. That's what it means to build yourself into someone unrecognizable. No one gets to rewrite their story by playing it safe. You can't become something greater if you're still clinging to who you were. The man you're becoming must be built with fire, not pillows. You've got to learn how to keep showing up when there's no applause, no reward, no external motivation. Just the whisper in your mind that says, keep going, you're not done yet. And that whisper, that's the future you. That's the voice of the beast waiting to be born. That's the man who will make the world bend because he never asked it to. You got to earn his respect. You got to prove that you can carry the weight of becoming him without crying about the pain it takes to get there. Because once you've rewritten your identity, you'll look back and laugh at who you used to be. You'll laugh because you'll realize he was never real. He was a placeholder, a shadow, a draft. The real you was always hidden beneath the layers of lies, distractions, excuses, and fear. But now, you're peeling that all away slowly, brutally, relentlessly, and what you're left with is truth. Raw, unfiltered truth, not who the world told you to be, not who your parents wanted you to become, not who your teachers trained you to stay as, but the man you were born to forge, with scars, with rage, with vision, with hunger. That's the man who rewrites destiny. That's the man who turns chaos into kingdom. That's the man who doesn't just chase dreams, she bends reality to his will and makes them kneel. So here's what you do next. No more waiting, no more talking, no more planning. Start living like you've already made it. Speak like the man who already owns the throne. Walk like the man who already buried his doubt. Train like the man who doesn't know how to quit. Work like the man who's already got a legacy on his back. Every move you make must echo the identity you're becoming. Every breath must declare, I am no longer him, I am already who I feared I couldn't become. Right now, this very second, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the same loop you've been stuck in. Comfortable misery, fake confidence, temporary distractions, cheap dopamine hits, and shallow victories that mean nothing when the lights go out. That version of you dies slowly, silently, walking ghost in a body pretending to be alive. The other path, that one burns, it screams, it demands blood, it demands sacrifice, it demands that you destroy the soft, fragile illusion of who you think you are and build something monstrous in its place. That path doesn't give you rest, it doesn't offer you peace, but it gives you freedom. And that's what you've been searching for this whole time, freedom from the chains of the identity you never chose, but accepted like a coward. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your invitation. The man you dream of becoming isn't hiding from pain, he's forged by it. He's not praying for clarity, he's punching through confusion. He's not wasting time waiting for motivation, he's moving like a storm through the battlefield of indecision. Because hesitation is the language of the weak. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. You were never meant to live like this. You were never meant to settle. You were never meant to wake up with regret. You were never meant to apologize for ambition or feel guilty for being different. That discomfort in your chest every night when you lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, that's not anxiety. That's not depression. That's your soul screaming, there is more. You're drowning out the truth, numbing it with distractions, promising yourself one day you'll fix your sorry life. One day is a thief's lie, stealing your greatness while you sleep. Hear this loud and clear. Let it burn in your skull until you act. Nobody's coming to save you. No guru, no buddy, no magic fix, no extra lives. It's all on you, right now. The terrifying truth? You've always had the power to be a king, but you've been too weak, too scared, too soft to unleash. It's scared of haters, scared of falling, scared of outgrowing your pathetic little world. That fear? It's not your enemy, it's the gatekeeper. Only the men who charge through it, who smash it with raw force, who run into the storm while others cower, ever make it to the throne. The man you dream of being, the one who haunts you when you're awake, he's real, and he's trapped inside you. Want to change your life? Stop tweaking small crap, stop polishing a sinking ship, torch it all. Build from the ashes. Rewire your mind, your habits, your crew, your standards. You don't need more time, you need to go harder. You don't need new dreams, you need new actions. You don't need approval, you need fire. The world doesn't bow to wishers, it kneels to warriors who move. Right now, you've got a choice. Keep faking it, living at half your potential, dodging your own reflection, calling it being practical. Or will you finally become the beast you're terrified you can't be? Choose the second, and it's war. You'll lose fake friends, confuse your family, get laughed at, doubted, misunderstood. You'll grind alone, in silence, while others party like losers. But on the other side, you'll be untouchable. You'll walk into rooms and own them without a word. You'll earn respect that money can't buy, only blood and sweat can forge. You'll sleep with clarity, wake with hunger, move like a predator, and live with the peace of a man who became everything he was born to, but not the weak piece of comfort, but the iron piece of victory. Here's the raw deal. Nobody knows you, nobody's watching, nobody cares. Perfect. Legends are forged in the dark, in silence, in the grind nobody sees. If you're done lying to yourself, prove it right now, this second. Do something that makes your old self panic. Slaughter the habits keeping you soft. Move like you're already the man the world says is impossible. Act like your future's your past and everyone else is just scrambling to catch up. That's how you rewrite your soul. That's how you bury the weakling who never deserved your name. You don't need to be flawless, you need to be relentless. Stop waiting for the right moment, it's a myth. Become him, the man who scared you, because you always knew he was real. He's not a fantasy, not some other guy, he's you. Locked inside, screaming to break free. Unleash him, rip through the fear, burn the excuses, and rise like a damn volcano. The world's waiting to bow, but only if you make it. Choose now. Stay a nobody, or become a king. Hesitate and you're dust. Move and you're unstoppable. Rise and never look back.